If Bill Gates gets his way, Arizona could be home to a brand new cutting-edge smart city. A real estate investment firm owned by the computer billionaire recently bought a giant plot of land in the far West Valley for $80 million.
All right, well, billionaire Bill Gates is feeling it. He's dropping some major cash to build a brand new city of the future. Gates snapping up 25,000 acres, thousands of acres in Arizona. That's huge. Price tag $80 million.
Well, he is, of course, one of the richest men in the world, and he just bought a big piece of land right here in Arizona. But what will billionaire Bill Gates do with 25,000 acres in Tonopah?
Next comes the fun part. The co-founder of Microsoft plans to build a smart city with cutting-edge technology about 50 miles west of Phoenix. 80,000 homes and plenty of room for industry with high-speed data centers and self-driving cars. Are you ready for this, Bill?
Hit me.
The name of the city, the new city, will be Belmont.
According to Bill Gates, you only need these invasive electronic tattoos. And he is actually touting them to be a far more subtle alternative to today's mobile devices. But here is the truth about what is actually signifying. Think again, and think again deep.
The Bible said is going to happen is happening. That should make you just really walk with the fear of the Lord. That should make you be like, man, I can't be playing around with the things of God. And so think about this. If they were to do away with phones, right? Everybody's already, we've talked about this so many times. You take your debit card, right? You swipe it, then they put the chip, right? And so they're kind of warming you up. Then they started making you tap the card. Then they started making you tap the phone. And remember, we've been saying this for years. Eventually, they're going to put the phone inside of you some type of way. And now they're talking about a tattoo. And the crazy thing is that with the click of a button, they can...
So, with a click of a button, they can actually just stop that service from operating. I should tell you that. So you might be wondering, what exactly are electronic tattoos? Because Bill Gates is a bit hideous when it comes to his electronic tattoos. Well, think of them as temporary skin applications. Temporary is in the sense of COVID temporary, that use smart ink that is filled with nanocapacitors. And of course, these tattoos can communicate with surrounding devices, letting you do things like send messages, browse the web, or even unlock doors, all with a simple swipe or a gesture. And this is something that we might say beyond communication. Well, what is beyond communication in this case? Well, these tattoos could also monitor vital signs like your heart rate, body temperature, and even detect potential health issues before they become serious.
Well, at the White House, CEOs of some of the nation's biggest tech companies sat down for a dinner with President Trump. And at the table, 33 people in total, including Tim Cook, Sam Altman, Bill Gates, and Mark Zuckerberg, just to name a few. Here's some of what the president had to say as the night began.
I just want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank the media. They've been very nice lately, although I'm still here. So we have to... They made a couple of bad predictions. That was not good. I've never had that feeling before. I went to an event and people are coming up to me and saying, "You're still here." I said, "What do they mean by that? I didn't hear about this." But anyway, I do. The press has been great in terms of this industry, and they understand the importance of it. This is taking our country to a new level. We're leading the world. We're leading China, but we're leading the world by a lot, and we're leading it because of the people around the table. And all I can do is implement and make it a lot easier for you, and I'll be doing that 100%.
The biggest tech names will be here at the White House for that event in the newly renovated Rose Garden. Now, that iconic space, of course, on the south side of the White House, just on the other side of where I'm standing now, it looks entirely different after these major renovations that happened there. Now, it was this once green expanse. Now it's paved over, and we see patio tables, chairs, as well as those umbrellas out there in the newly renovated Rose Garden. So that's where these business and tech leaders will be later this evening, including Meta's Mark Zuckerberg, Apple CEO Tim Cook, Microsoft founder Bill Gates, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, Google CEO Sundar Pichai, and Oracle CEO as well going to be there. A long list of names, but one of those that is missing from that list is Elon Musk. Of course, we saw that quick rise, quick fall out of President Trump's graces, all of that playing out here at the White House. Musk says he did receive an invite but he's sending a representative instead. That was in a post on X. Now, I'm told by a source that tonight's event in the newly renovated Rose Garden, it's going to look similar to what you might see at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in South Florida. So this is going to be something to watch because it's the first one in the Rose Garden since it's been renovated. Nicole?
Yeah, and no Elon Musk. Very interesting. All right.
And a big day and night for tech in Washington, D.C. Some of the Bay Area's wealthiest and most powerful techies traveling to the White House to talk AI. Here's our business and tech reporter, Scott Budman.
Yeah, as we speak, the White House is preparing to host a dinner featuring several high-profile CEOs, among them Sam Altman of OpenAI, Mark Zuckerberg of Meta, and Apple CEO Tim Cook. The topic? Technology, which was also on the agenda earlier today when First Lady Melania Trump hosted some Silicon Valley dignitaries to the White House to talk AI. AI, which the First Lady says will lead the country forward.
And I won't be surprised if AI becomes known as the greatest engine of progress in the history of the United States of America.
And Melania Trump invited some of AI's biggest Silicon Valley boosters.
This is all in the service of helping the next generation to solve problems, fuel innovation, and build an incredible future.
Including Google CEO Sundar Pichai making his pitch for AI in schools as well as business.
We really imagine a future where every student, regardless of their background or location, can learn anything in the world in a way that works best for them.
At a time when the Trump administration is literally investing in Silicon Valley businesses, it's turning to its AI czar, a longtime Silicon Valley investor, for advice.
There is a lot of fear out there. Some people think that AI is going to take all of our jobs. I really don't think that's going to happen. I think AI is going to unleash a productivity boom like we've never seen. It's going to make all of us more productive.
Whatever happens with AI, it's being watched from the White House.
So this was years ago. Let's look at what is actually happening. This is 2025. So in a bold prediction that's making waves across the tech world, the very same guy who has always been behind such kind of technology, I mean the Microsoft founder Bill Gates, has suggested that smartphones could soon be obsolete, replaced by an entirely new kind of technology. So forget everything you know about handheld devices. Gates envisions a future where electronic tattoos become the new norm. So Gates is determined to kill off the smartphone and replace it with something far more invasive, the electronic tattoos, electronic tats, which is a technology designed to merge with your body. The question is, why and how does it work?
The proposed community will be turned into its own smart city. It will be designed around high-speed networks, self-driving cars, high-speed digital networks, data centers, and new manufacturing technologies. 3,800 acres will go towards office, commercial, and retail space. 470 acres will be used for public schools. That leaves for room for 80,000 residential units. Now, it's unclear how much Gates will be involved in the project so far. Experts say the land Gates' company has purchased is in a good spot, in part due to the proposed I-11 freeway, which would run right through Belmont and connect to Las Vegas. So far, still no word on when construction will start.
Sprawling metropolis of Phoenix is an unlikely place to build an apartment complex without parking for residents. Car dependency is just part of life for most people there. But a new development in the suburb of Tempe is providing a blueprint for more environmentally friendly and car-free living.
This brand new rental community in Tempe has all the amenities: fitness center, dog park, outdoor kitchens, but something's missing.
So there are no cars in this community at all.
Isn't it great?
Cul-de-sac is the first community in the U.S. designed and built specifically for car-free living. Co-founder Ryan Johnson says the demand is strong.
Every generation, and including 92% of Gen Z, would like to pay more to live in a walkable neighborhood.
Retail, restaurants, and to start, nearly 200 apartments, all within steps of each other. No cars means no parking spaces, no garages.
The vast suburbs of Phoenix make driving a necessity for most people who live here.
There's not a drop of asphalt in the project.
But developer Ryan Johnson, who grew up in the area, has a different vision for its future. And it starts with this apartment complex in the city of Tempe.
It's a 1,000-person neighborhood where it's the first car-free neighborhood built from scratch in the U.S.
Car-free meaning no parking spaces for the more than 300 residents.
I love it so far. It's done wonders for my lifestyle.
Raven Ross, a full-time artist, moved to cul-de-sac last February. When residents sign a lease, they agree to not keep a car at the property.
So how has it been being without a car? So I take public transit now, so sometimes my bus stop can be like a 13-minute walk, or it can just be a 2-minute walk. So just having that walking time every day that I probably wouldn't normally get if I had a car has been a benefit.
The savings from not having a car can be up to $1,000 a month, and Ross has lost 25 pounds since moving here. Araceli Delgadillo and her family are big on bikes. Even the 5-year-old rides.
How do you take a watermelon back from the grocery store on a bike?
Well, I don't think we've tried that yet. Just the little ones, but not the like super big ones. But we have a cargo bike for that now, so probably would work.
She and her husband sold their cars and home to move to cul-de-sac last July.
We used to have to commute 26 miles every day, twice a day, 5 times a week. It was just so rough on me. So I'd always sit in the passenger and I'd look around and I'd just see everybody kind of like a zombie.
Like miserable and in traffic.
Because we don't have residential parking, it opens us up to have 55% landscape space, and we get to add so much to the neighborhood.
Like social spaces around every corner. The complex is strategically located right next to the area's light rail system. All residents get a free pass. The first 200 also get a free electric e-bike, and a partnership with LyFE gets them discount rides.
I've been fine just going via rail or just biking.
Juan Ramos, among the first 100 to move in here, grew up in Arizona, but left because he didn't like the car-dependent sprawl. At 27, he just came back and says living car-free has opened his eyes.
Frankly, for most of the apartments I've lived in for years, I've never even talked to my neighbors. I know people, like, that's Pete over there, that's Ben over there, and I'm like, that's the first time I've said that.
Residents often gather near the retail stores, which focus on small businesses. Jada Stratman is moving both her Home Sense business and herself in.
It's not as affordable out here as it was a few years ago, and having that opportunity to live and work where you are and just have it as one, that's perfect.
So if you build an office or an office building, you have to supply something around 3 parking spaces per 1,000 square feet of office space. Or if you're building an apartment complex, you have to supply 1 or 2 parking places for every unit that you're building. So with all this parking that's required for everything that we do, parking becomes ubiquitous, it's free, and we all expect free parking everywhere we go. And because of that, we all drive everywhere.
The parking requirement started in earnest before World War II, and by the 1950s had become commonplace in American urban planning. The result in Phoenix is not only sprawl, but heat. Climate change has led to record-breaking summers in the Valley of the Sun.
One of the reasons that Phoenix is continuing to get hotter and hotter, especially in the summer months, it's the overnight temperatures that are really rising. And a lot of that is heat that's trapped in our roads and our parking lots that is just being released overnight.
With a mind toward climate change and sustainable development, Tempe's parking policies are evolving.
So we've reduced our parking requirements, especially if you're attached to a major public transit route, for example. We've made it easier to have less parking. We've also made our buildings face a street, face the pedestrian environment, face public transit, rather than having a building separated by a large parking lot from the street.
It's better to build walkable neighborhoods. It's better for climate, it's better for health, it's better for happiness, it's better for low cost of living, it's better for low cost of government. It's a better way to build cities, and it makes for a better life.
Whether the concept can be replicated elsewhere and whether there is political will to is an open question. For now, cul-de-sac is a tiny oasis in a vast desert of suburban sprawl.
It's pretty much the middle of nowhere, open desert off Interstate 10 in Tonopah, 50 miles west of Phoenix. But it may not be empty space much longer. This undeveloped land could soon be transformed into a sprawling smart city with all the high-tech, cutting-edge gadgets you could ask for.
I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a good change for us all.
I don't know if I would want technology to take too much control and take away from the human aspect of life.
A real estate investment firm owned by billionaire Bill Gates just bought the giant plot of land for $80 million, with the hope of building a forward-thinking community called Belmont, full of new technologies and high-speed data networks. The smart city would have the room for 80,000 homes, 3,800 acres of office and retail space, and 470 acres for public schools. The streets would be filled with self-driving cars, and every home equipped with features you control with your smartphone or iPad. Lights, thermostat, locking the front door.
We would be one of the first.
Ron Schott with the Arizona Technology Council tells us building a smart city from scratch is a lot easier than trying to rebuild an existing community.
If you asked people 5 years ago, will there be unmanned automobiles driving around in the Phoenix and the Valley, that have said you're nuts. But guess what? We've had them now for quite some time.
There's no timetable for when the smart city would be built, but Schott says it could easily be done in the next 5 to 10 years.